Hi there, welcome to Cooking with Kenny G. Today's video we are going to be making these pro level chocolate chip pecan cookies. These things are unbelievable. I guarantee you one of the best cookies you're ever going to eat. Now the reason I call them pro level cookies is when I was a chef for a professional hockey team, I'd make these for the boys for treat days. Now the nutritionist, he wasn't too happy with me doing these, but they would get them after big wins, but I had to negotiate a little bit with the trainer. So I'm gonna show you how to make these in the video today. Stick around and check these babies out. Now on my channel, I wanna help you level up your cooking game with pro tips, tutorials, videos, and just some all-around cooking lessons. Now I wanna save you some money and make your time in the kitchen more fun and enjoyable. Impress you and your guests with all the new skills that you've learned. To be honest with you, we all gotta eat. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure to take your spatula, smash that subscribe button that'll be down in the corner here. Well, don't smash it, just click on it. You don't wanna break your computer. Check for any links that are down below. I also have in the description box the recipe for this video. It will be a PDF file so you can download it, print it off, start your own cookbook. Hopefully yours looks a little nicer than mine's, well used. So let's put on the apron, grab the knives, even though you won't need them for this recipe, fire up the stove and get after it. Now, like with any recipe, first thing I want to do is get all my ingredients together and all my utensils together. Now the French call it mise en place, which means everything in its place. Literally translated, we use the term as preparation in the kitchen. So you learned a little bit of French and you learned a kitchen term that you can throw around in your own kitchen. People are going to be impressed by your abilities. You're going to need some measuring cups, measuring spoons, some ceramic bowls to put some of the ingredients into, ridiculous blue gloves for taking hot stuff out of the oven. These things are fantastic, love them. High heat spatula, or just a spatula for that matter. A little scoop here for scooping the cookies. Now you can use this little guy here. I think it's about 1 ounce. So there's, if you want to make bigger cookies, a bigger one. I got some aluminum pans here with Silpat on there, as it's called. So it's a silicone mat that goes down for baking, and it can take quite a high heat. Now the reason I use that is it doesn't stick. It's also you can freeze it, or it can go in the oven. Obviously, it's an oven mat. It will save you some money too. That's what I'm here for. It's going to save you money on your parchment paper that you will be using for this. Get some Silpat, a little bit more expensive in the long run if you use it a lot. Like I use it for everything because I hate washing the dishes. I'm going to do whatever I can. Blue pastry scraper, doesn't have to be blue, but this is the color that I have. So pastry scraper, optional digital scale. Now I like to use, or I prefer to use a digital scale because I weigh all my recipes out. You'll see in this recipe, I put imperial and metric measurements in there too. My friends down south, it's gonna be some imperial. For all of us north of the border that use metric, the metric will be in there, but it's in weights. That's the way I work anyway. I work off of weights when I'm baking. I'm cooking, different story, don't necessarily do that. Okay, let's run through the ingredients now. I'm not gonna show you how to measure all this stuff out. I'm sure you know how to do that. So I'm just gonna tell you what it is. Like I said before, the recipe will be down below in the description box. You can print that one off and follow off of it, or you can just make notes from this video. Now these are the, I'm gonna use air quotes, that's a stupid thing, but wet ingredients. So I've got the butter. I've got brown sugar here. Now this is 200 grams of brown sugar, or about 1 cup. White sugar, I got 180 grams of white sugar, or that's about 3/4 of a cup. 220 grams of unsalted butter. This is at room temperature and I've cubed it up. Reason for that is it just mixes a little bit easier in the mixing bowl. 20 grams, believe it or not, I weighed it, of vanilla, or it's about 2 tablespoons of vanilla. Sounds like a lot, but it's not, trust me. Now for the dry ingredients, I've got 400 grams or 4 cups of pastry flour. Now the reason that I use pastry flour is it's got a lower protein count in it, and not to get too in the weeds with descriptions, but with the lower protein count in it, it creates less gluten when it's mixed. It will make for a softer, more delicious cookie. We all want soft, delicious cookies. Well, I do anyway. I got 15 grams of kosher salt, and I like to use kosher salt because it's a little bit coarser. And then when you bite into the cookie, it actually counteracts a bit of the sweetness and gives it kind of that salty sweet taste that is pretty prevalent now, and everybody really loves the salty sweet. And I also have 5 grams or 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Did I mention this is 1 tablespoon of kosher salt? Well, I did now. And the 2 other ingredients that obviously give the name to this cookie, dark chocolate chunks here, And I also have some pecan halves here, or you can use pecan pieces. I find though that I use the pecan halves, and as I mix it, it breaks them up a little bit. I think the pecan pieces are a little bit cheaper though. Have a look and see. All I had was pecan halves, so I'm using those. Okay, so that's the dry ingredients, the wet ingredients, and the tasty bits that are going into the cookies. Now let's start cooking, or let's start baking actually. Gonna go over there and grab that KitchenAid, get it set up. Gonna bring the camera a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. And then we're gonna start the process. Let's get to it. Now I've got the KitchenAid set up. You don't necessarily have to use a KitchenAid. If you have one of those hand mixers, you can do that too. Works perfectly fine. So I've got the room temperature unsalted butter that I have cubed up. Gonna get that in the mixer. Now I'm gonna start by softening that up a little bit before I add the sugar into it. Let's get that started on low now. Now I just mix that for about 20-30 seconds just to soften it up a little bit and spread it. Then I get in the brown sugar and we're gonna cream that together. You might wanna come a little bit closer so you can see what's going on. Now you're a little bit closer, you can see a little bit better. What I'm going to do now is add the brown sugar into the butter mixture and the white sugar. I'm gonna cream it for about 3 to 5 minutes. The reason I do that is I want to incorporate air and I want to break down the sugar crystals. And what it also does too is as I whip it and cream it, it helps the batter stay light and fluffy so your cookies stay moist and chewy. And again, back to we wanted a moist and chewy cookie, not a flat and crispy one. So let's get that going. And we're gonna be about, like I say, 3 to 5 minutes. I'll probably stop it halfway through and scrape it down, show you that process. So that's been 1.5 minutes. Just gonna scrape down the edges here, get it back down into the middle there. You can see, hopefully you can see anyway, it started to change color. It started to get a little bit lighter. That's gonna make it a little bit fluffier and adding more air into it. Now I'll give that about another 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. There we go, that's been about 4 minutes on medium high speed. It's changed color quite a bit. It's a lot lighter. I'm just gonna give it a really good scrape here and get everything back down into the bottom. Then we're gonna add in the rest of our wet ingredients and a little bit of the dry ingredients. Now the reason for adding some of the dry ingredients and not mixing them all together like a lot of recipes do is I want to really incorporate the soda well in there before I add in the flour. It has a low gluten content in it. The less I have to mix it, the better. I'm gonna add the salt in now to the creamed sugar mixture and the baking soda in there. I'm gonna add the wet ingredients in there, but let's mix this for about 30 seconds just to get well incorporated. It's been about 30 seconds now. Gonna add the eggs and the vanilla in there and the 2 eggs. These are large eggs too, by the way. And this will only be about 20 or 30 seconds. Show you what the mixture looks like. And we're gonna add in the flour and the tasty bits. We're done. Just gonna give it a little scrape right down to the bottom, make sure I'm getting everything up to the top. You can see that's, well, hopefully you can see it's incorporating well. Give that about another 15-20 seconds. And we're gonna add in the flour. Now that is well incorporated, as you can see by the looks of that. The flour is going to get added in 2 parts. Now the reason for that is to get it well incorporated without over mixing it. Remember what I said about over mixing? We're just going to bring it together and then add the second batch in. Do it on low speed too. If you put it in high speed, it's going to be all over the place. You can have a cloud in your kitchen. About 10 seconds. You can add in the rest of the flour now, or the other half of the flour. A little scrape. Just get that off the edges. Get the second mix going. We're good. 30 seconds, mixed well. Now we're gonna put in the pecans and the chocolate best parts. There's a cookie batter mix, pecan pieces, and the chocolate chunks. Use a dark chocolate. It's got a little less sugar in it than the semi-sweet chocolate chips. We're just gonna mix that for about 10 or 15 seconds. There we go, 10 seconds. Now the finished mixture is off the KitchenAid. It's back in its corner there, or it should be. It's going to bed. So what I'm gonna do is just get this out, scrape it down, and then start scooping. I'm using a small scoop for these because I like to make little cookies. And that way I can eat 3 or 4 and I don't feel guilty about eating that many cookies, but you can make them as big as you want. Again, I think this thing's about 1 ounce. And then just start scooping them onto the Silpat. Now these are gonna go in the fridge for about 1 hour. so you can scoop them quite close together. So I'll get going on that and then show you the next process. This mixture is quite soft because it's been mixing for a little bit, or the butter was quite soft. So if you're having trouble getting them out of the scoop, you can just use a little spoon there to scoop them out. There's the process. I will continue on. See you in a few minutes. Okay, the cookies are all scooped. I got 35 cookies here, all lined up like little soldiers, ready to go in the fridge. I'm gonna take them, put them in the fridge and explain to you the process. The cookie dough is gonna rest in the fridge for an hour. That does a number of things to the finished product. It helps hydrate the flour. It helps with the depth of the flavor, as all the ingredients can get together and party in there and get real tasty. And it also firms up the softened butter too, which will slow down the expanding process when it's in the oven, and it'll keep you from having a flat cookie. You'll have a nice moist cookie. We'll see you in an hour. It's been almost an hour now that the dough has been in the fridge. Now the oven is preheating, it's getting ready to go. And one thing that I did is I separated some of the cookies, and I'll show you that. Put them in the freezer. Now the reason for that is because it's such a big batch, I'm not going to bake off 35 cookies. And what I like to do is I like to keep them fresh. So I freeze the dough balls and I put them in a Ziploc bag, seal it up, and then back in the freezer. And then when I want fresh cookies, I just take them out, let the dough thaw out for about half an hour at room temperature and in the oven for 13 to 15 minutes. And they get brown on the edges a little bit, just pull them out, and then I'm going to show you a pro tip for that too. Now here's the cookie dough ready to go. Like I say, it's been in the fridge. I separated them a little bit. They will spread out a little bit. So let's get these in the oven and I'll show you what I do with the frozen dough. Here are the frozen dough balls. And I mentioned the Silpat here. This stuff is freezable, so it has been in the freezer as long as the cookies have. Totally flexible. You just throw it in the sink and wash it. Let's get these into a Ziploc bag. Next time you want a fresh cookie, you can just take them out, throw them in the oven, and you got a fresh cookie treat. Lay them out flat. They're not going to stick together because they're frozen. Kind of squeeze out that excess air. Ready for the freezer. Cookie's got about 5 more minutes left in the oven, so that will give me time to get a few things together for the final process. A cork pad here for the hot pan when it comes out. I got a spatula, cooling rack. I've got a flat bottom glass and some pan spray, and I'll show you what that's for. That's the pro tip of this recipe. So I'll be back in about 4.5 minutes or so. I'm going to show you the process of making these cookies look very professional and very sexy. Cookies have been in for 13 minutes now. They're just starting to brown on the edges, so I'm going to pull them out. Got my blue glove here. Now you can see these, they're a little bit brown on the edges. It's not a super pretty professional looking cookie. I'm going to show you the pro tip on how to do that. Flat bottom glass. Going to spray a little pan spray on there. Just going to press these down so they're about 1/2 inch thick, about 2 centimeters. Now look at that. Don't those look awesome? If it looks like it's going to start sticking too, just press it down, give it a little twist. Oh yeah. Now this also helps keep the cookies nice and moist too, because I'm pressing them down and compressing them a little bit. Tighten up that appearance there and they look professional. Gorgeous cookies. I'm just going to let them sit on there for about another minute or so. They're still quite soft, and then I'm going to put them on the cooling rack and then let them cool there, and they are finished. So there's your pecan chocolate chip professional cookies. Cookies have cooled down enough that I can just put them on the cooling rack. They are absolutely gorgeous. You're going to win some awards with these cookies, I tell you. Well, now I'm just going to let these cool down further, let them harden up, and they will be ready to eat. You need them now, I guess, if you want, but you will probably burn your mouth. So let those cool down before you enjoy them. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and are going to make your own treat day wicked awesome cookies. Now you can enjoy them after a big win, or you can just enjoy them whenever you want. Now don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed our time together and learned something on your way to Flavor Country. These cookies are so good, I'm going to have one too. So we'll see you in the next video.